Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Alien, the Alien Bloody version, this is a big chap, right? This is just a big chap with some paint on it. I think that's what it is. Pretty sure that's what it is. You guys can let me know. I'm not the biggest buff on Xenomorphs, but it looks like a big chap to me. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands to the top of, let's say, the middle of about 9 inches, like to the middle part. Of course, the back part's sticking up a little more, but we'll say 9. And that's going to make him about, let's just go with 23 centimeters. Those probably aren't exact, but they're close enough. And just like the other anniversary figures, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. It's not a whole lot of new stuff going on, but we have blood splatter or spatter. Splatter. Spat. I wonder which one you're supposed to use. Does it matter? Don't know. All over the guy. Now here's the thing that to me is just totally immersion breaking from this blood effect. The figure itself is very shiny, very glossy, which is how he's supposed to look. He's supposed to look like he's covered in corn syrup, because he was in the original movie. But the blood is not glossy. There's a little bit of shine to it here and there, but in general, it doesn't look wet. It looks like paint. So, I mean, that's a poor description. It looks like it's painted onto the figure rather than blood that's actually dripping onto the figure. Does that make sense? It looks like a paint job because it doesn't have any sort of gloss to it. It's not anywhere near as shiny as the figure, so it stands out as being not shiny. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe, but we're going to go ahead and look at it anyway. So the figure is, as NECA always does, a really good Xenomorph sculpt and paint job. There's lots of gray and brown and black, dry brushed throughout, very nice details. Silver for the teeth and the claws, very good looking. The carapace up here, the dome, is transparent and milky, and you can see the skeleton type thing inside, and that looks good, and it's very nicely done. Very nicely shaded all the way around there. Aesthetically speaking, they put a lot of blood on the jaw, inner mouth thingy, so that looks good. We'll talk about that more in the articulation, but it's another run-of-the-mill, good-looking Xenos. If you're into the big chap look, this is one I think you should probably pick up strictly on the aesthetics. Even though the blood's not great, it still looks pretty cool. So aesthetically speaking, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It'd be higher if the blood looked more like blood and less like red craft store paint. Alright, no accessories, so 0 out of 10 for that. And then as far as the articulation goes, there's not a whole lot of impressiveness going on. It's things we've seen a ton before. Head can look up and down pretty well. It can rotate some, but watch out for the tubers. This piece does remove if you want to lean it back even farther, but again, tubers. So be very careful with the tubers. You can lean it side to side for a little bit of extra attitude, so that's pretty cool. As you saw, the jaw opens up and the inner jaw comes out. Still a little bit more floppy for that inner jaw than I would like, but you do get that, and you're probably going to either have it out or in and closed. So I think that's fine, but I do wish they would get in there, tighten that up a little bit. There we go. All right, the jaw won't stay closed. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I wish they'd tighten that up a little bit, but that's still fine. For the shoulders, we have our fixed, or I shouldn't say fixed hinge, it's a swivel hinge. So you get your hinge there, just about horizontal, and then your rotation, that's the swivel part. Obviously we have some shoulder paddage right there, but otherwise you get your full rotation. I mean, it'll go, but it doesn't go straight. So that's fine. For our double jointed elbow, we have a swivel at both ends, and it's obviously 2 joints. So you get plenty of bend out of that. That's fine. You could probably get a little bit more if you finagle it just right, but that's still plenty of bend, so that's fine. The wrists have a swivel and a hinge, so that's pretty much standard. All of this is pretty much standard. This is your standard Xenomorph. Diaphragm joint is really good. He looks like he's dancing at a rave, so that's nice. For the hips, all the way out to the side, almost full on splits, so there's that. This one has the ball peg hips though, so we do have some newness. Are they tight enough? They are not loose. They're not tight, but they're not loose, so that's good. Going forward, no looseness again, but the diaper is getting in the way. If you stretch it too much, it's not actually connected at the bottom. You could pop the diaper off on the front, so be careful. That's as far as you can go without really flexing the soft PVC diaper, so be aware of that. But the hips are not loose, so that is good. You do get a thigh swivel built in, that's good. Double jointed knee gives you loads of range, and you do get a swivel at the top of the knee. If for whatever reason you want that, you do get that. For the ankle, is it a ball peg? It feels like a ball peg. It's sometimes hard to tell on these guys because they're kind of buried in the feet, but it feels to me like it's just a ball peg. And it's not loose, so that's alright. And then we have a toe hinge, which is also a good toe hinge, and that is not loose. So that's all pretty good. Tail is still a bendy tail. This is one of the better big chap figures they've released. I don't have any real problems with the joints. It's going to pose as well as a big chap needs to, and it's going to look good doing it. So articulation is going to get it's still not impressive, but it's fine. So 7 or 8, whatever you want to pick out of 10. This is really good. Elbows are good. Yeah, 7 or 8, whatever. You know what you're getting with a NECA Xenomorph. And that's what this is. This is like the quintessential but bloody Xenomorph. So final verdict on this figure. The only real drawback is the blood not looking great. And maybe some are going to look better than others. But it's still a nice release. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely a good Xenomorph to pick up if you are into that sort of thing. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.